Hello,
welcome,
everybody.
welcome.
Good to see everybody. Another week, another fun market. How are you, Lisa?
I'm doing great. It's been a bit boring this week. I go a bit crazy when the market's a bit quiet, so I've been naughty and I've been shitcoining.
Oh dear. And is that anything to do with the moons and the eclipses as well? Do you think it has an effect, or is it just you and the market? Yeah. Okay, well, we're live on X and YouTube, and of course, with the lovely Getting Started in Crypto group. This week around, we're only taking requests from our lovely group. They have been flowing in already, so we've got some lined up. But
or else I'll be here all day.
Honestly,
well, we might take one request, so we'll we'll have a look what comes in.
Right, we'll have a look.
One request, so get those requests coming in.
If you're on X or YouTube, drop them into the comments now. Let us know any questions, any chart requests. We'll see what we can do. Otherwise, thank you everyone for joining. I'm going to stop talking and let Lisa do what she does best.
Well, let's have a look at Bitcoin. Now we do have a prenumbral. How do you say that? Prenumbral solar eclipse. No, lunar eclipse. What is it?
I'm not even going to try. I'm going to leave that one.
Yeah, that one. Lunar eclipse happening today, depending on where you are in the world. So basically what happens with eclipses, a lot of the times it affects Bitcoins. Don't know, just does. So when we saw the high and we had back in April 21, there was an eclipse. Then back in November, there was an eclipse. So who knows? Normally it affects towards the end of the cycle, not at the beginning of the cycle. I went back through and it kind of has minor little, pullbacks during those periods. The major pullbacks were with the blood moons. So this one's not. So you want to watch for those blood moons where it's a blood moon lunar eclipse. So we have one coming up on not until 2025. 18th, the 13th or 14th of March, and then again in September in 2025. So I don't think we have any major issues until that period. We could see a pullback, but we're in a fourth wave correction, so that's kind of normal. So when we zoom in on this chart, you can see as per the cycle, this yellow period here is basically where halving can happen within that cycle. So, and that depends on how many transactions are going through and so on and so forth as to where we get the halving point. So it's looking like it's going to be sort of April. We've got a solar eclipse happening in April. So maybe that will be the start of our major new cycle. And it'll start moving from there. I do think we still have one more wave up. I see all the bears are out and they're like, the El Capos are all going, Bitcoin's going down again. I don't think so just yet. I think, we're in a correction. We're a little bit sideways in this period, but I don't think we're going to see anything major. Until probably maybe about 80, 85. Then we might see a pullback. There's a major resistance at that point, which I think is going to be something to watch. So when we have take it back from the April high to the November high, we drag that diagonal across and we get to a point probably about 82 to 85-ish, depending on where we sort of land on this pattern. So that is going to be a point to watch. I think we're going to get a pullback at that point. I think that's our halving pullback. And whether that sort of is super deep or not, I don't know yet, because the ETFs are just absolutely gobbling up that Bitcoin. So, you know, that's something to be aware of. Exchanges are now adding limits to how much Bitcoin you can buy in one transaction, because there's not very much Bitcoin around. So that won't affect if you're margin trading or leverage trading, because the majority of the time you're not using Bitcoin, you're using contracts. But if you are in spot, we did have an issue the other day with our bots, because it splits the trades up into smaller chunks and it wasn't buying. And we're like, well, why is the bot not working? And the reason being is Coinbase, KuCoin, Binance now all have, probably a lot of other exchanges, a minimum amount that you can buy on Bitcoin. So yeah, it's going to get harder and harder and harder as it becomes more scarce. So just be aware, don't sell your Bitcoin. Don't. It's not worth it. These dips are not worth it. They're small, they're tiny, minute. So when we zoom out and, you know, we look at the whole chart, so I'm going to go right up to a monthly chart. You know, if you like one of these people that just went, I've got the foresight to buy Bitcoin right at the beginning, and you've held it for that long, it's like some of these crazy alts, like when we're, you know, seeing sort of 1,000,000% and that sort of thing. So even with all of these dips, you've made, you know, what's that, 62,565%. That's insane. So on your original investment. So that's without doing anything. So we hope that some of the alts do that. Occasionally in the bull runs they do. We saw, you know, ADA do like 5,000-6,000% last time. Solana do a similar sort of thing. So, you know, it's possible, but you need to be prepared right now. And it's like you need to be, you know, heading back in, DCAing at the moment, because this is a point of the market where halving comes in. We're going to get those pullbacks. We're going to have a period of sideways. Perfect time for, you know, adding to your bags and preparing those long-term bags for this next bull run. So yeah, for me, you know, while we're trading in small, tiny little regions at the moment, when we zoom out, there's so much money to be made in Bitcoin. And, you know, I truly believe we're going to hit over the 100K mark. At 2025 bull run, like, I don't think we're getting, there's a chart, I've seen charts that go to $1 million. I don't think it's this run. You know, if we look at the run and we count this wave that we're in at the moment as our wave one, then once that wave's complete and we've got that pullback, we can gauge how high we're going to go during this bull run cycle. So it's pretty exciting.
Very exciting. Talking of DCAing as well, I know within the Getting Started in Crypto group, you just released your, what do you call it? Your 3-month DCAing bags for the extra push for time people.
Yeah, definitely. So for those that missed our original bag, so we put in 75K into our bags way back in, I think it was December, January. So December, what's that, 22, January 23, and we DCA'd that for, I think, about 6 months. It was a long DCA. So yeah, because it was 10,000 a month, so that must have been 11 and a half months. So it was a long DCA.
Absolutely. And like you say, for those who have just joined or have maybe waited till the last minute, there is still a bit of time to DCA over what you suspect will be a dip before the major run up. Is that right?
Yeah, I do think we're going to see a dip, whether that's, like I was saying, whether that's massively huge or it's just, a pullback, a minor pullback. That 80K region, 80 sort of 5-ish is going to be a region that we want to really watch. So, take note of that, put it in the back, like just file that for later. And potentially, who knows, it may just blow straight through with the ETFs and everything, but they seem to have slowed down a little bit at the moment. So we do have, we're coming up to, Easter holidays for all the Christian nations. So that can slow up, the market and that sort of thing as well. So, it's just sort of playing it by ear. This is the first bull run that we've had such exponential sort of rises for BTC without the major pullbacks. So every bull run, normally we're getting like 30 to 50% pullbacks on these major sort of, one wave, three wave sort of thing, but we're not seeing that. We are seeing it slow down, but we're not seeing the major pullbacks yet. So I don't know if we're going to get that or we're not going to get that, but I don't think it's worthwhile, just dumping your bags because the exchanges are buying like crazy.
Fun times. Did you want to have a look at Ethereum whilst we're there?
Yes, let's jump straight into that. So, potentially we've got these sideways forever patterns. Which is going to sort of, instead of the major pullbacks that we potentially could have had, I think we're going into like a corrective pattern, Elliott wave pattern. Ethereum currently is filling out the first, it's filled out the A wave, potentially in the B wave. Depending on where we get with that wave, then we're going to know where we're headed. It's kind of just, understanding whether we've got an A, B, C, D, E, or if we're going to just do an A, B, C, a really quick correction. So this is like the most extended correction it could be at this point. So if we take out some of those waves, potentially we could get several patterns for Ethereum. So it could be just an A, B, C, coming back down, and that hits the diagonal support. That is about 2,900, and then we will absolutely take off. So obviously there's several different patterns when we go into corrective waves to understand where we are in these patterns. But yeah, so ABC is the smallest pattern a corrective wave can be. That C wave can be exactly like it can double bottom at that point. Likely it is a little bit below, and then we take off. So we do have a diagonal support sitting at 2,900 for Ethereum. So once we've completed that wave, maybe we'll get one last pullback across the board, BTC, Ethereum, and the alts, and that will be it. So literally that will be it. Just these small pullbacks, and then off we go.
Exciting. Okay. Anything else you picked up from the crypto world this week you want to share with everyone before we move on into altcoins?
Well, I've been playing on base, so it's, yeah. So if you follow me on Twitter, I've been doing the last 3 or 4 Sundays, I've been doing a thing called Shitcoin Sundays, where I'll pick a couple of like brand new alts that are on like Base, Solana, wherever, and put these out to the world. And a lot of people tell me they're oversold or overbought, sorry, and they're going down. And I got that the same because Benji that I put out on Sunday had moved quite a bit, but I could see the volume coming in. So for that being said, Benji moved another 400%. So if you got into this when I tweeted, you would have made 400% to this point. So, it does look like it's got a potential pullback, one last pullback, and it's still got lots of room. It's still got lots of money coming in. So we, follow the trade. So have a look at what's coming in, what's going out. We've had some money pull out, a couple of whales pull out. So yeah, it's just, crazy. So when this pulls back a little bit, I think this is going to be a good one to just hold a little bit in, because the team on this are just really trying to push it. So just obviously with these brand new coins, never invest more than you're willing to lose, because it is a high risk. And they can be gone tomorrow, as we know.
They can, but like you say, it can be fun to watch them go up and down, but do your due diligence and make sure you're using clean, fresh wallets. All of the usual advice that really needs to be taken into account.
Don't use your wallets that have got like all of your funds in it. It's like you don't want to hit one and it just gets drained. So clean, fresh wallets, as Josh said, and that's the best way of doing it.
Okay, cool. Anything else, or shall we go for alts in a bit? We'll take a little. Did you have anything else?
Yeah, so we're just going to take a break and.
All right, we're going to do this 30-second break, so don't go anywhere. Just 30 seconds to give Lisa a breather and have a drink of water so she doesn't dry up and like start croaking by the end of the wrap up. But we are going to be straight back with a load of alts for you, so don't go anywhere. Okay.
Hey, we're back. And for everyone watching, if you don't know, we've got an app. So Getting Started in Crypto is an app, and all your trades go to the phone. You can see, them just there live, as you saw on that ad that we just played.
Have you got your phone on you? Can we see it for real? So we know it's not a joke.
So go to the App Store, Getting Started in Crypto. Obviously, you're not going to get any of the trades unless you subscribe. But for our subscribers,
that is correct. It's for members only, so it won't be any use if you haven't signed up. But once it is, I think most of our audience and members are on the app now instead of
so that's all our signals. You can search those all in there. Our bots are live. Mine's not logged in at the moment. Every 30 days you have to redo the 2FA. So obviously I haven't done that today and it's due. But yeah, so, and then you've got the live chat. We've got a charts and updates where I post some charts that I'm looking at and some ideas, and requests go in there as well. So if you're part of the group, you can request charts on any day. So we get lots of them daily and they all go in there. So let's jump into some alts.
Let's do that. I'll just quickly answer this question. Does the Lisa bot provide more signals than the regular paid signals? No, the Lisa bot trades all the regular paid signals, so you're not missing out. If you get the Lisa bot, you get the paid signals as well. It's all one neat package.
So, it is. So the difference is we've got TTM, which is 1,000 to millions.com if you want to check that out. We've got those signals and we've got paid signals. So paid signals have more targets and potentially can make more money. The TTM ones work on the 1,000 to millions strategy.
Okay, cool. Right, let's rock on. Let's do some alts.
Cool. All right. So this one is Catboy. So these are all requests from Getting Started in Crypto. They have the ability to put through a form and request some charts, and there's some really random ones today, so sorry if you but they are quite good charts. Like, they're quite interesting charts, so they're fairly new. So this has been around since beginning of March. It's had quite a bit of volume entering. So when we're looking at this next wave, it's pulled back to the 0.5. So potentially this is a fourth wave. Fourth waves in Elliott wave usually pull back to about a 0.5 on Fibonacci. So, and it does look very much like it is starting to form that sort of wave formation. So basically that would look something like A, B, C, D, a bit of sideways at the moment. So this is probably A, B, C. So if you know anything about Elliott wave, an A wave usually has 5 waves, a B wave has 3 waves, a C wave has 5 waves, but in a triangle, each wave has 3 waves usually. So it's a bit sort of choppy and goes up and down, up and down. So at the moment, it's been a very bullish looking chart. And, you know, once it gets out of that section, let's just pull that off, we can see some potentials for the next wave up. So because this one, so with Fibonacci 236 is your wave 1, and then you can get a fib projection from there. So this goes all the way to the top of the fib, so which means likely this next wave will either truncate, which is to the 1.236, or extend, which is the 1.618. So it could get to 61 cents for Catboy. Okay, DOGE. So DOGE as well is in a fourth wave. It looks like it's got a falling wedge. This wave is incomplete. So depending on where that goes at the moment will depend on where this wedge forms. This could be a complete ABC because rule of alternation in Elliott wave means basically, so if the second wave is extended, then the fourth wave will be swift. So we did get quite an extended wave pattern in the last 2 corrections for DOGE, which means this could be like complete. So just be aware that when entering trades, to watch like how long the what the time was basically that it took for a correction. So if it was extended and did go for several months like DOGE has, potentially this wave will be really quick. So that could be complete and then it's heading up. So just be aware of that. I do think it will have some sort of triangle kind of pattern like filling out. It is, you know, it has got a lot more buy pressure coming in this range. So, you know, it could be one or the other, but to watch, I've got a break point. If it is more bullish, it's going to break above that 19.3. So, you know, that's a point on this chart to watch for. That's basically a bullish pivot in this region. Okay, take a breath. Now, next chart is DGB. So one of the favorites for some of the traders in the group. So this is a daily. It has been following my Elliott waves perfectly. It's heading up for there to complete the third wave at the moment. It has had a nice turn. One of the signs that we know that it is quite turning quite bullish is MACD, which is a lagging indicator, is starting to turn up. So we're seeing a lot more buy pressure coming in, which means that the islands are about to probably flip in the next probably week or so. And then we'll see that more buy pressure coming in. This is not quite out of that corrective phase yet. So it's going to sort of like flip and turn over the next week or two, and then go up and complete that wave. So that wave's at about 2 cents. Take a breath. Now, Matic had some network issues, I believe, over the weekend, and the network was switched off. So it hasn't really had much effect on Matic. So I do still think it's coming back down to retest this support. That is sitting at about 83. Whether it touches these MAs first, which is about $1, and then comes back down, is kind of, a juggling point at the moment, because it's not looking great. It hasn't looked great this whole entire run. The network has struggled with issues and so on over the last little bit. So I think once they get all of that sorted, it's going to be a powerhouse throughout the bull run, but they need to get it sorted. Next one is OM, and it had a really, so it was a zombie coin, what I like to call a zombie coin, for such a long time. So if we go right back, so this dropped November 22, top of the market. Oh, it goes back further. Anyway, so, and then it just went sideways forever. And it's like, hello, I'm awake now. So obviously the team has been continuing to build throughout the bear market, and that's normally a good indicator of these charts starting to move, is the team is starting to release updates, information, that sort of stuff, and it makes it worthwhile to hold on to. At the moment, it's coming back down for a fourth wave. Now, that fourth wave must hold 36. It can go down as low as that, and as long as it doesn't cross over into that region, that's okay. It's still a valid chart, and then it will continue upwards. So because it hasn't had any extensions in this period, if they get some really amazing news, this fifth wave might extend and can go as high as 2-3. So just be aware of that if you are selling. Where have we got? Vet, an oldie but a goodie. So this one has been moving up. So it is currently in a fourth wave of this fifth wave. So it looks likely that it's going to go to about 66 once this wave completes. So a lot of these are just in these wedges and triangle patterns. This is no different. So we can see that we've got support down here. We've got a support here. So just be aware that this next wave is probably, so we've got an A, a B, a C, a D coming up, and then at one more wave down for an E. We don't always get the D and E wave, so it's always best to buy the C wave. And then usually there's not much difference in those waves. If we don't get a breakout, then you can sell in profit, keep a stop loss moving up, and then buy that E wave. Often the E wave will not go lower than the C wave. It will go as a double bottom in that region, just because so many people are waiting for it. So that is something to watch, and that is, it's looking really strong, coming back, testing the MAs, and moving nicely. So next one is AR. There's a lot of new coins in the market at the moment. They are dropping every day. There's a lot of new networks in the market. There's a lot of new layer ones in the market. So it's really hard to keep up with everything that's happening at the moment. So AR at the moment is still in a corrective sort of phase. It has come back down, and it looks likely that this is an impulse. It is hitting, strong targets. So when we put Fibonacci on that, it has moved to the 1.236, which is a wave extension for that third wave. So this fourth wave currently has come back down to a 0.5. It looks like it's going to just form a triangle. It's looking quite bullish, actually. And so that's probably going to take a week or two. I think we've still got, another week or two left of this correction with Bitcoin, a little bit more sideways, and then we're going to see those the moves on the entire market and that money coming back in. And that's probably when we're going to start seeing, those tether prints and that sort of thing again. So that is definitely something to watch over the next little period of time, probably about, like that 1 to 2 weeks. And last but not least of the already requested charts is Ozone. So we can see that we're in a third subwave at the moment. So we're in a 3 of the 3. And so this, if we are looking at this, so this is our 1, our 2, our 3. So we're currently in that 4 of the 3. And that's this region. When we get those subwaves, it gets a little bit choppy. So it's going to look like it's not going anywhere for a little bit, but it's just consolidating. It's really healthy for coins to build a consolidation pattern, because that means if they go absolutely crazy and just go off the charts up, when they come back down, they've got a level that a lot of traders will buy at. So they've got those support levels, and that's really, really important, especially in Bitcoin. So it can't go straight up. It does need to build those levels. So we know, we've got a lot of traders that, place orders on block orders. So, and that just basically means these levels. So, potentially when we've got fourth waves, they often come back down to the top of the first wave. This one doesn't look like it's doing that at the moment, but that is, why we have those support levels.
Okay, and quickly is our token YouTube chart. Could we have a look at CRV?
CRV. Okay, so this is obviously one that I've looked at within the group, and at the moment it is in 2 patterns. So this is something to watch with a lot of the alts that have had wave corrections and extended wave corrections over the last little bit. So with this, we can see that we've turned around at this, which was a previous support. It's now a resistance. So we've turned around. We've been caught by the 100 and 200 MA. So that's a really good sign. It's also above this wave 1, so which means it could break through. So potentially we could be in this third wave. We don't want it to keep breaking down at this point. So that would not be healthy for CRV. So what we want to see, let me find that, is basically this to be a 1, that to be a 2, coming up, retest the breakout region as support, and then go up and finish that third. So that's the ideal bullish scenario for this coin. Potentially, if it does continue sideways, it could go back and create a lower low. It's not in that pattern at the moment. It does look like it's in the more bullish pattern. So it does need to hold these levels and these MAs on the daily. That would be a positive sign. If so, then potentially it's going up to about 1.6. Let me put. So from here, that's going to be about 150%.
Okay, cool. There were a few more charts that come in, but as you are members, if you're listening in, just drop them into the live chat in the group and we can get around to them as soon as possible. But otherwise, it would keep Lisa here all night. So I'm sure
I'm starting to lose my voice. So.
One of the consequences of that happening. So thanks for everyone who's tuned in again. According to the stats here, over 500 people. And of course, thanks for all our members in Getting Started in Crypto for tuning in. Looking forward to a good week ahead. Any last words, Lise?
Yeah, so just be aware, like with Bitcoin, if you are, stacking sats, as we used to always hear, I don't see that so much anymore. but it was a big thing sort of in the 2017 bull run, where everyone was stacking sats, and it was the, what you wanted to do. Obviously, that was one of the mega runs from the bottom. So if you are stacking sats, make sure that you're DCAing at the moment. It's a really important period to be restacking up everything to prepare for the next bull run, for the major waves of the bull run. Not that we're not in it already, but yeah.
Wise words indeed. Okay, everyone, getting started in crypto.com. If you're not already there, get there and join the fun. Otherwise, have a great week ahead, and we'll see you soon.